Okay. For all of you who are interested in knowing, Pam, who is hanging out in Goa, Yoga Shakti Pam, remember? She's got a message from the embassy telling her that they will pick her up on Sunday for the US. Special planes are flying from India, Air India, to take people from different countries back to their country, so long as they don't have corona.
That's good.
So she'll be leaving. So she'll be leaving on Sunday, and I suppose she'll reach by Monday or so. There'll be Sunday for you all over again. And we have a message from our Prime Minister here that on Sunday evening between 9 and 10, 9 and 9:10, that is like from 9 o'clock for 9 minutes, everybody in India has to put off all electrical lights and then light a lamp, a candle, or even the telephone light is okay, the mobile phone light, for 9 minutes, and think of the Supreme and meditate on wellness for the whole world. So maybe you can do that there also. I don't know what time it will be there and how I can find out and let you know by WhatsApp. But then they said do that because there's a constellation of 3-4 planets which is very bad for the world overall.
What was the day and time again, Auntie?
According to Indian time, 9 p.m. to 9:09.
Which day?
Sunday night.
Okay.
But I'll find out exactly what a person in the US should do according to that's little Tertius there. According to the astrologers here.
Okay.
And apparently it will mostly affect people on the equator at 27 degrees latitude. And under that comes Australia, New Zealand, Ireland, some part of, either Buckingham Palace or Birmingham. I forgot what he said.
I see.
So all that. So anyway, this is just light a lamp. That's what our Prime Minister said. Everybody will do it. And
because some of us we are doing it tonight at 8 p.m. going out to our backyards and shining a light to the sky.
Okay, so maybe that's the time there.
I'm not sure about that.
To do that.
My family members from Maryland, they have sent it to me. So I'm not sure.
US, no?
US, yes. So I'm not sure about it being across the nation yet. I'm not sure about that yet.
I'll find out. Anyway, we are praying for all of you, don't worry. And there has been a big Dhanvantari Havan done today by somebody I know here, an astrologer, well-wisher, sadhaka, Devi Upasaka, who has done for all the people we know in the United States also.
Okay.
Yoga Shakti and Yoga Mitra and the whole lot. Atlanta Yoga and all. But I'll find out and I'll WhatsApp you all at Atlanta Yoga.
Okay. Thank you, Auntie.
Okay. How did you come on this? Reena?
I joined the group today. Hari Om Swamiji.
Are you in Munger?
I was in Rikia in the 19th of February. Shivaratri to Holi, I was in Rikia. And then I got back. And one of the classes, actually, I was in Delhi when you were doing the class, but I couldn't connect. And now finally I can join.
Okay, so you're in Washington.
Yeah, and I'm very happy to share. I went to Varanasi
Yeah.
for 2 days. So I thought about you a lot in Varanasi.
Yeah. I know you did. I got news from Manorpa now and then.
Wow, she told you I went to. Yeah, so one more Shakti Pit is covered. So very, very happy to join the group now.
I'm so glad. Coming in,
Yeah.
that's okay. All the nice things are going to happen now.
Yeah. Let's hope. We trust in that, right?
Yeah, today is Sita's day to go and liberate Raavana.
Yeah, very good. Everybody home is good?
Everybody is fine. We are all sitting at home.
Yeah,
All the
greetings.
maids and gardeners and everybody is on leave. And the rest of us sitting around and doing work.
Okay.
Everybody
Greetings.
turns cooking. Everybody is getting turns washing and drying, laundry, vessels, sweeping, swabbing, including Ishan.
Oh, he's doing also.
Yeah, because he has nothing else to do. So much energy.
So much energy he has.
Svetlana, Hari Om. So that's the way it is. Anyway, I'm glad I can see everyone now. Because on the mobile, I wasn't sure I could see everyone. No, it's such a small area. So that's why I said I'd rather come on this. So you tell me when we can start. It's 10:29 here. Let's go get the clock. Half these things, I don't know what they are.
We can start now, Ji.
Start?
1 o'clock we can
So
start.
close your eyes. And we'll chant Om, invoking the highest vibration of the Supreme to come and sit beside us for the next few days at least. So breathing in. Shri Gurubhyo Namaha. Okay, so the last time we stopped at Surpanaka had come and she had tried to seduce Rama, didn't get no luck with it. Then Rama told her to go to Lakshmana, and Lakshmana said, why do you want to run after a servant? I'm a servant of Rama, so you might as well go to Rama, who's a king. So she comes back to Rama and then she tries to eat up Sita because she says Sita is in the way. And Lakshmana cuts off her nose and her ears. Okay, now there are two things there. If you look at the evolution of the human brain, you will see that the nose was the first one that developed. That is the olfactory sensation, smell. And all of us, the animals, go by smell to a large extent. And human beings also did until we started getting the capacity to talk and communicate. And the ears are also special because the ears are associated with listening to the mantras or the vibration sounds. So these two are cut off to say that she can neither be instinctive and see that what she's doing is wrong, neither can she listen. She's an insensitive person. So then she goes and calls her brother Kara and Dushana, and they come with 14 great monsters and then 14,000 great monsters. We talked about it last time. And Rama sends Sita inside a cave along with Lakshmana, and then he single-handed kills all these 14,000 Rakshasas and Kara and Dushana. And the commentators say the reason he sends Lakshmana and Sita away is because Sita, being the Shakti of Rama, she is the cosmic mother. And the mother is always kind-hearted. She's a Daya Murti. So she, in the Ramayana, she is responsible for recommending your name as Prakriti. If you make a little mistake, she would tell the Lord, look, this person has been doing so many good things, doing so much sadhana. In ignorance, he or she has made a little mistake. You should take that to heart. Help them out. So this recommendation work is done by the mother, Prakriti, or what you call Mahalakshmi. So if Sita were there, Rama knew that she will prevail upon him not to kill Kara and Dushana, and she would say, let them be. And they would hang around and create havoc some more with other people, if not them. And that couldn't happen because A, they were doing so much of damage, cosmic damage, and B, also they needed to be liberated from their monster-like form into their own inner Atma. So Rama sends Sita and Lakshmana away, and then he kills all these monsters, and then she's very happy at that. Now what happens is, among these people, there is another monster Rakshasa whose name is Akampana. Kampana means tremor, shaking. Akampana, who never has a tremor, who is so proud and steady at being a nasty chap. He's never bothered. Anukampana means compassion. That is, you vibrate, or your tremor is an empathic sort of thing. You have a tremor in conjunction with the person you're trying to help. That is Anukampana. Compassion means trembling with somebody else is suffering. You too are suffering along with them. It's more like an empathy than sympathy. That is Anukampana. Kampana is a tremor. Akampana, no tremor. Two people don't have a tremor. One who is completely steeped in virtue and one who is completely steeped in evil. Both of them don't have a tremor because they are so sure that they are going on the right way. So Anukampana, what he does is he goes running to Raavana at Lanka, and he tells him, your brothers Kara and Dushana have been killed, and a whole lot of Rakshasas or monsters who were stationed there to frighten the sadhus and the rishis and the good people. What they would do is they'll catch the rishis and eat them up and drink their blood and throw away the bones. They were kept there just to frighten human beings, the best among human beings. Because the humanity is supported by these great spiritual giants always, and even in those times. So if you attack the spiritual leaders, then the whole congregation can be wiped out. So he, Anukampana, he comes there and he tells Raavana about what happened. Now Raavana asks him, and how did you manage to escape? He said, I was the only one who escaped. How did you manage to escape? And Anukampana says, I wore a sari dressed like a woman and I escaped. He said, how does that come into it? Because he said, if Raavana will never hurt a woman. I mean, that's his general, he's scared. He won't touch a woman. And when I dressed up like a woman and I went, then Rama, it's Rama. Rama will not touch a woman. So when I went dressed as a woman, He just left me alone. He didn't do anything because he sees all women as if it's a mother, except his wife, of course. And so he says, Ravana is so surprised. Who's this person, he says, who is a source of terror to him? Who's this person? Who's this person who's a source of terror to all these Rakshasas there whom I have stationed? He said, even if he is Yama, the god of death, or Vishnu, or Kubera, the lord of the riches, wealth, or even time, Kala, even if it is, he says, I am the death of them because I've proved that I'm so powerful, which is the truth because his father was a Brahmana. His father was a Brahmin, a famous rishi called Vishravas. His father's second wife was a Rakshasa woman. So the first wife's son was Kubera, who is close to Shiva and who is in charge of the wealth of the world. The wealth of the world means the spiritual wealth. And the second wife has 3 children, that is Vibhishana, Kumbhakarna and Raavana. Raavana is the Rajasic element, Kumbhakarna is the Tamasic, and Vibhishana is the Sattvic element. So these are the 3 children. And one time when Kubera was going in the sky, because he's a demigod sort of, Ravana's mother, who's on the ground, that's the stepmother of Kubera, she points out to this flying chariot that Kubera is going into Ravana and Kumbhakarna as children, and she says, see, that's your father's other son. Look at all the wealth he has got and all the power and everything, and look at you people, so puny, you're running around here. If you had any self-respect, you would aim to reach that point yourself. So she belittled them. So they sat for about 10,000 years or whatever it was, and they did penance, meditation. And they got such powers that when Brahma came and asked, what do you want? Ravana said, I don't want to be killed by the gods or by the demigods or by the smaller siddhis like Kinnaras, Gandharvas, Nagas, nothing. Of course, men and monkeys I don't care about, he said. So he didn't get immunity from them. And that is why Ravana says, even Vishnu cannot stand in front of me, because Vishnu as an avatar is still powerless in front of him because he's got this boon. So remember always a negative trait that you can, if you nurture it and nurture it and nurture it, it can be as powerful and sometimes more powerful than a positive trait can be. That's why you're asked to have Manaprasad, because a negativity can cause so much damage in the world. Now look at what is happening all around in the world. Last year you had floods, right? Water. Before that, the year before that, you had major earthquakes, Prithvi, the earth. In between, you had fire, electric burn and forests on California on fire, all that, fire. Then now you have this airborne disease, corona. And then you have the skies, the planets coming together. It's like an attack of the Pancha Mahabhutas, if you think of it. The Panchabhutas are the 5 elements, the earth, water, fire, air, akasha, space. All these 5 are constantly attacking and warning us because we are going against the laws of nature. We are damaging not just ourselves, the rest of the creation also. Trees, water sources, everything is polluted. So nature will always come like that. When everything is misused, power is misused, then it will always come and create such a calamity that people either realize that we are powerless against these great elements, or we trust in somebody higher, and so we live our life virtuously without damaging anything else. That's why they say ahimsa paramo dharma. Don't have enmity to anything, to anyone, whatever it is. So the negative forces were very, very powerful because of Ravana's penance. And so long, and whenever the gods would come to fight with them, he would defeat them and he would tie them up in Lanka, in his place. So he had tied up the moon, the planets, all the planets were tied up by him. The sun would rise and set when he wished, when he said it ought to do that. So with all this, Ravana became so powerful that he wasn't bothered. He was very, very licentious. That was a very well-known thing. And then he is surprised that somebody should go into this Dandakaranya forest, which is very, very fierce. Remember here, the Dandakaranya forest is not out there. It's in our minds. That is the inner meaning of that. You go into your mind without guidance and without help, you'll find all the monsters sitting there, all the negativity, the suspicion, the doubts, the fears, the anxieties, apprehension, hatred, revenge, all that will be there. Now you have to go through that and come through out. And that is why they say Rama is one person who could do that. He was born for that purpose. Vishnu took the avatar of Rama to help you cross this mind that is like a forest. And that is why he is called the Taraka Rama, or the Rama who helps you to cross over. So you will see in the story of the Ramayana, he never stays in one place. He gets up and goes through the forest, then he comes back, he goes somewhere else, he crosses the ocean, he goes to Lanka, and he's liberating so many souls on the way, helping them to get rid of their monstrous personality and move into a higher light. So that is why Rama is called the Taraka Rama is called the Taraka Mantra. Rama has the same power as the Omkar, because Rama is supposed to be the Advaita Bhava. Everything is one with him. He has no differences, whether it's a king's son or a Guha, the tribal person, whether it's a bird like Jatayu, whether it's a Rakshasa, anybody who surrenders to the Almighty or Parabrahman, Rama says, I will protect you at any cost. If you don't surrender and you want to go the way you want, then for the welfare of the universe, of all creation, he will have to put an end to your negativity, which you see as death. So this is Rama's quality. And Ravana then asks Akampana, tell me, who's this person? I haven't even heard of him. And you're saying he killed 14,000 people all alone, and he killed Kara and Dushana, who was so powerful. Who is he? And what did Akampana say? He said, there is a person called Rama. He is well built like a lion, broad-shouldered, endowed with matchless strength and vigor. And he says he's so handsome. He's more handsome than all the gods. One thing was with Rama was, even his enemies could not say anything mean about him. Whereas in the Krishna avatar, people could say nasty things. Some will get away, some won't get away. Krishna is like a kid, mischievous. He did things in a crooked manner, whereas Rama was straightforward, and even looking at him, people would fall in love. He was like that. So then Ravana asked him, did that Rama come there with all the gods and people like that? So Akampana said, no. Rama came all by himself. He is very good in the use of celestial weapons, and he has reached the peak of warfare. And wherever the monsters went, the Rakshasas, when they were fighting with him, whichever side they turned, they saw Rama standing in front of them with the bow and arrow. So they were petrified. Either they died or they ran away, he says. Then he also says when Rama is angry, he can stem the current of a flooded river, pull down the vault of heaven with all the constellations. He can lift up the sinking earth. That's how when he is angry, his power comes out. He says, now all this you can see will not help with Ravana, because somebody telling him that there's someone who's far more powerful than him and who just looks like an ordinary young man, no armor, nothing. So he says, in any case, Ravana, you cannot conquer him straight off because he has so much power. But there is one way of doing it. Take away his wife. If you take away his wife, he will go into great grief and he will die of the separation. Now, when he dies, there is no one else here who can do anything. So you do that, he said. So Ravana thought about it. One thing with Ravana is he doesn't do things impulsively. He thinks about things, he sees the pros and cons, and then he goes and does it. Even though it might be evil in nature, he doesn't at the spur of the moment does it. So what he does is, he goes away to a place where he meets Maricha. Maricha is the son of Tataka. You remember the first woman Rakshasa that Rama liberated with his bow and arrow? Her son was Tataka. So, Tataka's son was Maricha. Now then he goes to Maricha, who is his uncle, Ravana's uncle, and who is a master of all these magic arts. So he goes to Maricha and he says, you have to do something for me, he says. Maricha says, the way that you're coming in such haste to me makes me feel apprehensive. Because everybody is scared of Ravana, you see. So he says, what has happened? Then immediately Ravana tells him in brief the story about Rama. And he says, I have to go and abduct his wife and I want you to help me to abduct his wife. Now, Maricha tells him, who could have told you all this sort of an advice? He says, they're putting you on the wrong track. He says, tell me who is saying bring Sita to Lanka? Whoever encourages you to do this is without doubt your enemy. Only an enemy could advise somebody like this, because if you did it, you will be in great trouble, because I know Rama's power. And you will be bringing her like you're bringing death with you. And not only you, everybody in Lanka will lose their lives, he says. And it's not advisable, he says, don't jump into this fire, which is like Rama. And he says, stay back. You've got so many wives who are so beautiful. Enjoy yourself with them. Don't get into unnecessary trouble. So what does Ravana do? He thinks maybe he has a point and he goes back home. When he goes back home, who's waiting for him? His sister Surpanaka. And immediately she sees him. She's scared of him because he's a very fierce monster. He can be ruthless. But at the same time, she's so angry with him. When she goes there, he's sitting on top of his 7-storied palace. What does that mean? That he has crossed the 7 dimensions of consciousness with his penance. It's a very, very powerful energy. Only thing it's got on the wrong side, on the side of evil, because that was an option he chose. When Vishnu told him, choose 7 lifetimes of being my devotee or 3 lifetimes of hating me, so that he could come back quickly, he said, I'll take 3 lifetimes. So Vishnu says, it doesn't matter to me whether somebody loves me or not. What I want is that they should be continuously contemplating on me so that they merge with me, whether in hatred or fear or love or whichever way it is. And he says, you go and hate me for 3 lifetimes. That's your choice. But my choice is, even if you're like that, I'll come and liberate you. So Rama has come to liberate Ravana. That's a basic thing. And Kumbhakarna. Now, So Ravana is sitting on this 7-storied palace. That is, he had a person of such great power. And Surpanaka is scared of him. But anyway, she looks at him and she starts attacking him immediately. She says to him, because you're so attached to sense enjoyments, you're so promiscuous, you have no control, you don't see the danger that has cropped up and which ought to be seen by a king of your stature. A monarch who doesn't attend to his affairs gets ruined. The rulers of men who don't reclaim their territory when it's no longer theirs don't shine in front of their subjects, because Dandakaranya has gone to Raavana for all practical purposes. They are not in charge. Then he says, though you have entered into a conflict with the gods right from the beginning, how could you not appoint spies? All kings should have spies. That's our intelligence agencies. Then how can you not know what's happening around you? You're childish, devoid of intelligence, and you don't know what ought to be known. He says, you're unfit to continue to be a king. Now she knows where to taunt him and where it will disturb him. So she says, 14,000 monsters of terrible deeds, as well as Kara and Dushana, have been killed by Rama single-handed. And on top of that, Rama has given a promise to all the rishis in Dandakaranya that if they trust in him, he will protect them so they can go ahead and do their meditation and their good deeds in peace and not be scared. So you, on the other hand, are greedy, careless, a slave of passions. You don't even see what is happening in your own territory. She's telling Ravana. Then Ravana thought for a while. He became aware of his own weaknesses that she said. And he reflected on it for a long, long time. And then he got up and went inside. Then he called her back. He said, who's this Rama? What is his strength? What does he look like? And what is the weapon with which these people have been killed? He asks. So she says, this is again another example of somebody coming to say something against Rama, but they end up saying nice things, even the enemies. So Surpanaka says, he has long arms and large eyes like lotus flowers. Clad in the bark of skin, he is in competition with the god of love. He is that handsome, she says. His bow, when he stretches it, is like a rainbow, and when he stretches it fully, it becomes a circle, the string and the bow together. He is that powerful, he is that handsome, and she's sighing about it. So he then, she said, Rama has realized himself. He's a self-realized person. He was afraid of killing me, a woman, even though I went to eat his wife. But his brother Lakshmana, who's also equally handsome and who's very powerful and has great glory and devoted to him, he came and cut off my nose and ears because I tried to eat his wife, eat Rama's wife, whom Lakshmana treats like a mother. Then he says, what is a Sita like? And he says she's very charming. She looks like the presiding goddess of the forest. She's like another Lakshmi. Her complexion is almost like molten gold. And she does everything that a husband would like her to do. She takes care of Rama, puts his interests in the forefront. And at the same time, she has her own independence also. So she says, whoever Sita lives with as a wife and whom she embraces with delight lives more happily than all the gods in the universe. Now this is where Raavana gets interested. And she'll say, you will be an excellent husband to her. To Raavana, she said. I, for my part, I was intent on bringing that woman who had broad hips and rounded and prominent breasts so that she can be your wife. But by then, Lakshmana deformed me and I was in pain, so I ran and came here. So now Ravana was listening to that and he started getting interested in going after Sita because he had a weakness for beautiful women. In fact, at one time, he went and tried to seduce Ramba, who is a heavenly dancer, like a Siddhi. And she cursed him. She said, I'm married to your son. And you're trying to touch me. I'm like a daughter to you, being a daughter-in-law. And she said, I curse you that the next time you touch a woman, you'll bring about your death. So after that, he was still more afraid of touching women. I mean, he could seduce them and all, that was different. But to bring them against their will, he was always afraid of. So then what happened was, at this time, Ravana thought about it very seriously and he thought to himself, let me try Maricha a second time because it does seem sensible. So he goes to Maricha and going to Maricha, he tells him, he says, by this time, Maricha has become like a rishi, monk like. He wears only the geru clothes, or ochre, and he is he's sitting and meditating quietly. He has given up all his monster qualities as a Rakshasa. So Ravana comes to him and he says, Maricha, he says, I'm distressed, and since you are my only person who can help me, I want you to help me. He comes back to Maricha. And he says, this Rama and Lakshmana, I heard about two people. Rama is full of sin. He has been exiled because of that by his father. And so he is wandering around in the forest. And on top of that, he has brought a beautiful woman along with him. So see what sort of a bad chap he must be. And Marija tells him, don't say that, Ravana, because Rama came to the forest only so that his father's words would be made real. Father said, go to the forest. He didn't want his father to die with a sin on his head. So he offered to go and go to the forest. And then he said, I can tell you that if you try to take Sita away, it's like a death knell for you. And he says, when he was young, when Maricha was young, when his mother was killed by Rama, Tataka, he and his brother went to attack Rama. They were very young. The brother was shot dead and Maricha was shot with one arrow that threw him 8,000 miles into the ocean. So he said I was unconscious, and when I came back to consciousness, I realized this man is more powerful than I thought anybody could be, so I left him. And that was not the only time. Another time, at that time Rama was 12 or 13 years of age. Then later I saw him in the forest with Sita, at which time she was 18 and he was 24 or 25. And he said, I remembered my old fight with him, and I thought to myself, now let me go and hurt him now because he's walking around like an ascetic. So he won't be clear about me. So he says, I put on the form of a deer and I went near the hermitage. Rama came out, had one look at me, and he took out his arrow, bow and arrow, and he shot at me. I somehow escaped. And now I'm petrified of Rama, he says. Forget about Rama. He said, I've stopped all my bad qualities. I really have remorse for all the things I've done, and I've been sitting in meditation and praying that I should be forgiven for all the things I did. And now I'm so terrified of Rama that the minute somebody says Ra, if you say Ratna or you say Ratha or you can say anything beginning with Ra, he says it gives me such a tremor inside. I don't even want to hear any word with the beginning Ra, he says. Now remember, Ra is Ram, fire. So one of the Panchabhutas. So Maricha is recognizing this man can be like a fire. He said when he is angry, he can exterminate the entire world. He said, I wouldn't like to be in your place. If you are not able to take Sita away, if you want, you go ahead and do it. I don't want to be anywhere around when this happens. Now Raavana then tells him, okay, you can go or not, that's your wish. If you don't go, I will kill you right now. If you go, you have a chance of doing something good for me, that's Raavana. And he says, if you do that, I'll give you half of Ayodhya, Lanka. I'll give you half the kingdom. Just do this for me. I won't ask you for anything else after this. You come with me in my chariot. And then Maricha thinks to himself, he thinks, anyway, I'm going to be killed. Either it'll be by Raavana right now, or when I go and become a deer, I will be killed by Rama. If I had to choose, I'd rather be killed by Rama, because then I would at least get liberation. With Raavana, I won't have anything of that sort. So he says, okay, I don't agree with you, but I'll anyway come. So Raavana is so happy that he's coming, he forgets everything that he has said to him, and he says, I'll come, get onto the chariot. So they get onto one chariot, and as soon as they reach that place, Maricha turns into a beautiful golden deer with silver spots. I'm told that this spotted deer lives only in India. We get so many of them on the way to Mysore for some strange reason. So anyway, these were the spotted deer. And then he immediately becomes that deer, and he dances in front of the hermitage in which Rama and Sita are there. So Sita is picking flowers, he goes near her, and when she turns and looks, he turns round circles, then he goes this side. He plays around with her. And then she looks at deer and she calls Rama and Lakshmana. She said, come here, see this beautiful deer. And she says, Rama, I want you to get this deer for me. She says, because we can play with it here, it's so beautiful. And apart from that, if it is here, and when we go back to Ayodhya after so many years, it's almost 12 years over now. When we go back in a couple of years, we can take the deer with us, and all the mothers will be happy to play with the deer and the children and everybody. It'll be such fun having the deer. If by chance you happen to kill it, you can get the skin back home. We can sit on it for meditation and all. Deer skin. That's what they did in those days. So Lakshmana comes out. He has one look at the deer and he says, I don't think you should try that, because the deer looks to me like Maricha. Earlier on, he had come as a deer also. This is because you don't see deers like this, golden deers with silver spots. You don't see them in the forest. So this must be some monster. And I know Maricha has this power of changing the form anytime he wishes. So I don't advise you to go on that side at all. So then Sita says, she begs Rama, please go. And Rama thinks and then he says, okay. After all, Sita has come with me to the forest, giving up all her luxuries. All she asks is for a little deer to play with. Can't I give her even that, he says. And he tells Lakshmana, you stay here and look after Sita. I will go and get the deer and come back. Now you see, the commentators say, Sita is Mahamaya. Sita is Mahalakshmi. All the wealth in the world belongs to Lakshmi. Why would somebody like that want to get a golden deer? or even the wealth of the world. There's nothing but Maya. It's a game. It's an act. So when Rama goes after the deer, Sita is at home and Lakshmana is standing guard. Because Rama says, if you feel that there is something fishy, that's okay. You hang around in the hermitage and you take care of Sita, guard her. And Lakshmana is there. And then suddenly what happens is, they hear a sound. Rama is calling out and saying, hey Sita, hey Lakshmana, help me. Because what has happened is, he strikes Maricha, the deer, with an arrow. When he falls, Maricha uses Rama's voice and calls out to Sita and Lakshmana to protect him. Now, hearing this voice, Sita says, oh my God, something has happened to Rama. Lakshmana, go and see. And Lakshmana says to her, Rama, nobody can touch him. He's so powerful. Not even the gods can do anything to hurt him. There is something very fishy about it. He's told me to guard you. I'm going to be here. So what does Sita do? She's terrified because Rama's gone into the forest and he's calling out for help. God knows what's happened. Then she turns around angrily to Lakshmana and she says, you may be asked to guard me and all that, but can't you hear your brother calling out in agony for you to help him? How can you stand here and not go? And he is standing still. He's not moving. So next what she does is, she says, I know what you and Bharata are about. You wanted to marry me because Rama got me. You kept quiet about it, and Bharata will come after the 14 years. He'll kill Rama. Now it's easily done because whoever it is has killed Rama. And if they kill, and you think that I will be free and you can take me. He said, how can you be so disgraceful? She talks to Lakshmana like that. And she says, don't you dare think you can get me like that. If you come near me, I will burn you up, she says. And Lakshmana is very, very hurt because he has thought of her almost like a mother, an elder brother's wife. And to be talked to as if he was really trying to be in love with her. Now the thing is, when Maricha, there are two interpretations there. When Maricha calls out, hey Lakshmana, hey Sita, why was he doing that? He was not just alerting Lakshmana to make Rama come. That is what normal people say. But the scholars will say that he was calling out for Sita because she is the Dayamurti. She is a cosmic mother. And when he is being killed by Rama, he is calling out not to Rama, who's the warrior there. He is calling out to the Divine Mother. He says, Mother, save me. And she is the only one who can help him out. So that is why he is calling Sita in that moment. So anyway, then Lakshmana says, okay, I'll go. She says, if you don't go now, I'll commit suicide. I'll drink poison right in front of you. I'll jump off the cliffs. I'll take a knife and kill myself. But I'm not going to belong to anybody other than Rama. Now what happens is Lakshmana doesn't know what to do here because he's tried cajoling her, reasoning with her, but now if she goes and does something, he can't touch her, he can't stop her. Today if you had somebody like that, they'll hold you and tie you up or something. Those days you didn't, when you respected somebody like that. So he says, okay, I'll go, you just stay inside the hermitage, don't come out at all. He says, and he goes. Immediately he goes. The gods in heaven, they're all so happy. The great rishis, they're all very happy. Because they all say, now our plan is working. Because now Raavana will come and abduct Sita and go, and Rama will have to go and to protect her, he has to kill Raavana. That was the whole purpose for which the gods said, please come down and save us from this monster. So they are very happy. And then Rama, after killing Maricha, he is suddenly surprised when he hears the monster calling out to Sita and Lakshmana. Now he knows there's something very fishy. He thinks to himself, I wish I had listened to Lakshmana. But it's okay. And he says he wants to rush back to the hermitage so that anything that is not right can be set right. Then Lakshmana meanwhile tells her, you're like a divinity to me, to Sita, he says, and I cannot put up with such words because they are like a heated steel arrow that you're saying these cruel words to me. He says, I feel that all the negative things are coming in my mind. I even wonder if I go to help Rama, when I come back with him, whether I will see you or not. That is his level of intuition. So then, because of the interpreters will say, because she spoke such cruel words to Lakshmana, who was a great devotee of Rama, she had to be separated from Rama for a whole year, staying in Ravana's palace. Because if you hurt a devotee of the divine, you can be the consort of the divine, but you will still have to pay for that, because the Supreme Paramatma loves his devotees more than anybody else. So he is always ready to protect them, and he cannot bear the insult that a devotee is given by anyone. So then, when he then comes there, Ravana comes, he comes like an ascetic with the water pot and wearing the ochre robes and the white vibhuti on his forehead, looking very pious and religious. And he comes there and he says, he asks for food. Bhavati Bhiksham Dehi, he says. It's evening and Sita feels, here he looks like a Brahmana. He is the son of a Brahmin, even though he's become a Rakshasa by his gunas. So when he comes close, she looks at him with great devotion because she thinks he's a great devotee of God, and she says, please come and sit down. She washes his feet, gives him water to drink, and she says, it's a little bit of dinner. Will you have a little here? So he sits down there. But seeing him coming, the nature itself knew something is afoot. So they say the trees stood still. They didn't blow in the wind. The wind stopped blowing. And the Godavari river, which was nearby, which usually goes very fast, suddenly started going very, very slowly because they knew something was happening. Have you seen before an earthquake how the dogs behave, the birds behave? They all become very still and you won't hear them making much noise. They'll sit down sort of cowering in a corner somewhere. They won't eat food. All that. They're very sensitive to things that happen in nature. So it was like that in nature. And this man comes and he is unable to hold his passion, Ravana. So he comes to her and she should have been careful then itself, because he asks her, who are you? Are you Shri, the goddess of wealth? Are you the goddess presiding over mystical powers, or are you the goddess of love? Because your hips are so broad and fleshy. Now, this is not something that any man would generally say to a woman unless she is his wife or a paramour. You don't just go to any strange woman and say something like this. But he's so confident of his attraction that he says that to her. And he says, your breasts are fully developed, round, joined together with elevated teats. And you're charming, and your teeth are like gems. And he says, you steal away my heart. I want you to come. Why do you want to hang around with this ascetic husband of yours? He's no good. And he talks about all his glories and what he's done and how he's got the planets under his care and how he has got a second heaven in Lanka. And he says, why don't you come with me? And she looks at him very sternly. And at that time, Valmiki says, Ravana fully and resolutely made up his mind to carry her away by force and therefore bring about his own death. So you see, intuitively he knew he was going towards death, but he wanted it. That's what he wanted, the liberation. So he went close to her and he picked her up along with the earth, telling her all the time, I'll give you 5,000 maid servants and they will all look after you. You will get whatever you want in my kingdom. You will be the principal queen among all these people. And she tells him that I cannot be had by anybody else. I am devoted to Rama. And when I am a lioness, you like a jackal, how do you dare to think you can come close to me also? And she says, trying to take me is like licking a razor with your tongue. You see, you're trying to put your hands on the beloved wife of Sri Rama. You are desiring to cross the ocean, tying a slab of stone to your neck. Seeing a blazing fire, you desire to carry it away in a piece of cloth. She says, who do you think you are? And she says, it's such a puny person. You don't even have the guts to come and stand in front of Rama and fight for me. You have to come like a thief after sending everybody away and steal me because you don't have the guts. And she humiliates him like this. And then she started shaking. She was trembling with that fear and anger and everything. And he sees the tremor and he thinks that she's excited with him. So what he does is he comes close to her and he carries her away. And when he carries her away, what happens is, as he's going, he tells her, I am so powerful. That is, I have so much power of my penance. He has the siddhis, he does have it. He says, I can lift up the earth with my hands, which he did. One time when Shiva and Parvati were in Kailash, he thought he'll play a prank. So he lifts up the Himalayas, the earth with the Himalayas, so that they'll get shaken there. And Shiva looks down and sees him trying to lift it. Shiva puts his little toe and presses down and the earth crushes Ravana on the head. And Ravana says, help, help. So Shiva tells him, don't try to play the fool with me. Because Ravana's Ishta Devata is Shiva. Because he doesn't like Vishnu, you see. Vishnu is coming as a man to kill him. His Ishta Devata is Shiva. And he has done a penance in which he has sacrificed all his 10 heads to Shiva, at which time there are 11 Rudras. Rudra is a form of Shiva that is the fierce form that puts an end to things. That is the bringer of your karma. So to the 10 heads are given, the 11th alone he hasn't noticed because he only had 10 heads. That 11th head which he doesn't, so he can't sacrifice to Rudra. That 11th Rudra comes as Hanuman later. So what happens is, he carries Sita away, and as she is being carried away, she sees Jatayu. Jatayu is the bird. Remember the eagle I spoke in the last time, who is a friend of Dasharatha, and he says, I'll protect Sita. So she sees the bird and she says to the bird, please help me, save me from this beast. So Jatayu immediately comes down. In between, she tells the river Godavari. He says, when Rama comes, he'll be asking everything in nature. He'll ask the trees, he'll ask the river, he'll ask everyone, where is Sita, who took her away? And tell Rama at that time that it is Ravana who has taken me away to Lanka. She says it to the river Godavari. Then Jatayu, the bird, comes down, the evil vulture comes down, and he tries reasoning with Ravana first. He said, see, you have tied a poisonous snake at the end of your cloth, and you don't even realize that death is placed around your neck. He tells Ravana, he says 60,000 years have passed, Ravana, since I was born. That is, Jatayu is 60,000 years old. While you are I am old and you're still armed with a bow and arrow and you're mounted on a car. This flying, what do you call it, chariot. So he says, with all that, you will not dare carry Sita away before my eyes. I am going to stop you. So then what happens is Ravana gets annoyed with the king. He says, okay, come and fight with me. So two warriors, Jatayu and Raavana, they were almost evenly matched. They have a major fight where the vulture, the king of the vultures, killed, what's his name? Ravana's charioteer. He killed the horses, he broke the chariot into two, he jumped on Ravana's back and he tore his flesh with its talons, he pulled his hair, and Ravana was fighting for his life actually, but at the last minute he turned around and cut the wing of Jatayu and Jatayu fell down. And Sita ran to Jatayu and she grieved over him. She said, for my sake, you lost your life and I'm so sorry, but tell Rama when he comes that this is what happened. So there are two types of moksha, many types of moksha in the Ramayana. One is the moksha of Jatayu, the other is the moksha of Maricha. They were very different. Maricha knew he was going to be killed by Rama. So he went in and got killed. That was it. What Jatayu did was, he tried to protect Sita. His wing was cut. He lay suffering, titiksha, endurance. He lay there and held his breath until Rama came that side, and then he told Rama, this is what has happened. This man has taken her away, and then it dies. And Rama gives it moksha again. And Rama does for Jatayu all that he would have done for his own father, the ceremonies. So these were two types of moksha where Maricha knew he was going to die and he voluntarily went into it. And Jatayu went in to protect her, but he was hurt, critical, but held on to life until Rama came. How do these people hold on to life? Because they have conquered one or some of the Pancha Mahabhutas, the elements. They do such penance that they are able to hold the breath, and they can, or the waters, people who are able to control water can go under the water and meditate for a long time. There are people who can control the earth, they can be buried in the earth and they will still, siddhas are like that, they will still breathe and do their meditation. It is a way of conquering the Pancha Bhutas that they do. So, she then started wailing out, and as she was trying to run around holding the trees and the animals along the way, and like a woman when she's chased, she'll hold on to the tree and tries to prevent herself being pulled away, and then she's telling the trees, please tell Rama this man is doing this to me and all that. And then she's crying out Rama, Rama, and they say the whole world, because she's the mother, the cosmic mother, the whole world, including the animate and inanimate creation, went out of order. Can see what's happening today with Corona? Same thing. The whole world was enveloped in darkness. The wind did not blow. The sun lacked luster. Brahma, looking at all this from above, the creative source of the universe, he said, our purpose is accomplished now. Because Ravana has carried away Sita. So it's a good thing for Brahma and the great gods, because now they know there is no other hope for Ravana. Rama will definitely kill him. Because even if he had bothered her and left her there, and he had fallen at Rama's feet and said, I'm so sorry, I lost my head, Rama would have said, okay, go. Because Rama was like that. You went and apologized, he'll say, okay, and he'll let you go. But now he's taken her away. So Brahma looks down, and the rishis who are doing great penance for years and years and years to handle this tremendous crisis coming to the world, they also said, thank God, whatever we have prayed for is now coming true. Now this man then takes her, now he drags her by the hair and he carries her with him. Till now he hasn't actually touched her, he has pushed her into the chariot sort of. Now the chariot is broken, no charioteer, no horses because of Jatayu. So he carries her and he rises in the air because he's a monster. And as she is being carried away, little jewels that she has falls on the way. And the flowers in her hair that falls away. Then while she was being carried away, the sun itself felt wretched, they say. And the animals shed tears. The gods of the forest, the goddesses, the spirits of the forest, so to speak, they found that they were trembling because this is such a major catastrophe, And her hair had got disheveled there, and she kept crying out for Rama and Lakshmana. With all that, she still upbraids Ravana. She says, considering your own welfare, you had better leave me alone, Ravana. She says, not only Rama, even Lakshmana will come after you. And you are so stupid that you don't realize that there are people like you who are stupid. When death comes near them, they lose their head and they do all sorts of stupid things. Now you might see, even in this corona scare, what is happening. Some people are going outdoors though. Everybody said keep a social distance. But then there are people who went and had a major get together in a place and are spreading the coronavirus all around. So sometimes when you're in a crisis, you can lose your head and do irrational things. So she tells Ravana, she knows that Rama will come anyway. So what does she do? So not finding any savior around, what Sita sees is, as she was being carried away, she looks down and on a mountain top she sees 5 monkeys sitting there. Now 5 is supposed to be a very good number. It's supposed to be a very lucky number. They say Panchamam Karya Siddhi. That is, you want to get any work done, say a business or something, you want it done, 5 people will go together. If you see something in 5s, if 5 people come, or something happens on the 5th of the month, it is supposed to be an auspicious day. If there is danger on the 5th, it is an auspicious day to pray to the mother goddess to help you on that day. So this 5 is always imbued with the good luck. So they say Panchamam Karya Siddhi. That any job you take becomes siddhi or perfected if it's associated with 5. So when she sees these people sitting there, so she takes off some of her jewelry and she takes off her upper garment, she wraps all the jewels up in it and she drops it down in the center of the monkeys where they are sitting. And what Ravana does is so proud of carrying her away like this that he doesn't notice she has done this. So he was so happy and he carried her and he went to Lanka. So I think we should stop here because it ends with this class ends with a nice ending of her dropping the jewels among the 5 monkeys. Things will change after this. But if we go on further today, then what will happen is that you will go on and we'll get stuck in a negative part when he takes her to Lanka. So what do you say? Okay, so if you have any questions or anything, ask.
Wonderful, Ji. Thank you very much.
You're welcome. They say mostly when people are reaching the point, evil people are reaching the point of their extinction, they end up hurriedly doing all the wrong things. You know, you would think a sensible person, oh God, I made a mistake. I was racing and there's this police car coming after me. Let me go slow. That's what a sensible person will think. A stupid person, the brain gets addled sort of in that danger. They will find themselves going faster so that when they are caught, they'll be right in the hands of the police. I don't know if I think somewhere in the United States, day before yesterday, we had on the news an event that happened where the police were chasing a car that was going very, very fast. And eventually, and it was going zigzag also. Eventually, they caught the car. They asked the man to stop. And when the cops got out, they saw on the driving seat was a dog. And the man was teaching his dog to drive. He was sitting in the passenger seat. He had put his feet on the clutch and the brakes and the accelerator. But he was teaching the dog to steer and drive. So that's what happens in the US. I'll tell you what happens here. A man came back from the army, a sepoy sort of, a soldier. And he came home, and usually soldiers are supposed to report now because of this coronavirus. The military, everything is called into action. So this man thought, nobody will know. He ran away from the army, came home. And one of his cousins sent a viral photo of him to the police, saying that our cousin has come. See, you can't catch him, sort of. When the police came, what this man did is, he pretended he was dead. He called an ambulance. And he and 3 of his cousins were taking this dead body to the hospital, so to speak, the next town. The police waylaid them there and they called him, tried to shake him and all. He looked dead. So they said, oh, he must be dead. They said, corona, they said, the cousins. So he thought, oh, maybe this man died of corona. So anyway, he took out a thermometer and he checked the temperature. The man was quite fit. So he pulled him up, handcuffed him and the cousins and took them to jail. So you need to keep your head when you're in danger. So we have these amusing things also happening all over.
It's like it's gone to a point of no return and then they still continue to act.
Maybe they might think, if anyway I'm going to do, I might as well go doing something that'll give me a name in the world. Doesn't matter what it is for. So shall we close today?
Yes. Very good.
Thank you, Auntie.
Thank you. Hari Om.
Thank you. One thing I want to tell you. The Prime Minister was telling us today, and I'm going to say this to all of you also. So many of you, he said, would be feeling bored because of the lockdown. So many of you might get frustrated, wondering, what are we going to do? We may not have stocked up food for the day, or will our jobs go? And you might be anxious and worried. And he said, I just want to tell you one thing. Never think that you are alone. The whole world is in this together. Nobody is alone. And the have your faith in something higher than you, and the divine will come and protect everyone. Just have faith and go on. So, if pray saying, I trust you with full faith. Don't be anxious, don't be worried. Just have faith and follow the laws of the country till this thing goes down. Some people say the whole thing will be over by May, June, slowly getting less and less. By August, it will be completely over. So, that's what some people say. We don't know. Whatever it is, let us just surrender and say, whatever you choose for us, we'll take it. Thy will, not mine. And having that, and keep your mind positive. Don't get any angry thoughts, bad thoughts about anybody, including with the coronavirus or anybody. Just keep your mind steady, equanimous, trust in the divine, and carry on. Everything will be okay. You're not alone. We are all there together. We are all together with you. Whether you may be in US, you are people in India, we might be in Africa, Australia, doesn't matter. Our souls are together. Okay?
Yes, Auntie. Thank you, Auntie.
Yeah. Most welcome. Most welcome.
Good night.
Good night. Night.
Thank you for these wonderful words, Auntie. It is very uplifting for all of us.
Hold it in your heart. Remember those words. They're not mine. They are your Guru's words. They are the words of the good people of the past who have said this to us. So we are all passing on this information to everybody, so the world becomes a little more spiritually oriented in the future. Okay? Hari Om. Svetlana, smile. Cindy is smiling, that I know. Shannon smiles always. Hari Om then?
Hari Om.
Next Friday. Same time.
Yes.
Yes.
Hari Om.
Hari Om.